Right, guys, we back. Hey,
Hey,
listen, man, we've been being consistent, man. That's what the people want. So,
yeah.
um, we got a lot of topics to talk about today. I definitely want to give y'all a chance to introduce yourself. Cliff, you've been on the last episode, but
Yes,
we
sir.
forgot to introduce you. So, go ahead and
All
introduce
good.
yourself, and we're gonna jump right into it.
Yeah, I'm Cliff Roach. Some people call me Cliff Roach, the money coach from Detroit, Michigan.
Love it.
Been in personal finance for over 5 years now, and James and I have just been collaborating on a ton of different things. And I'm here to share some insight. So, love to get my perspective out there, see what I can add add some sauce, add some flavor to what we got going. So,
Yes, and we got our new co-host. She did the first episode was last week, and it was good. I mean, we got a lot of feedback. I don't know if people came and um, as you continue to do this, people are going to start to find your personal page and like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I like this, and can you talk about this? Can you talk about that? So get ready for it, and you're also going to get cussed out in the comments. So
Hey, I'm used to getting cussed out. Say what you need to say. It's a chaplain of the culture, Yale MDiv, Black Church Studies scholar. Um, you know, I'm here to expand ideas and grind your gears, especially these two. So let's
get it.
get into
uh
it.
oh.
Hey, get us together, man. We need that balance for sure. But
On to more entertainment news, right? So even though this is not entertaining at all, Halle Bailey, she has filed for a harassment. She filed for harassment against DDG.
mhm,
She she alleges she
allegedly.
alleges that things got physical between the couple. In January, she was going to. There was an incident where she allegedly was going to strap the baby in a car, and he things got really hostile. And he said, "Get out my car, B." The baby was crying in the car seat. They were started wrestling. He was pulling her hair, and that's when I guess he mushed her into the steering wheel. There was another incident where he went to drop off the allegedly, where he went to drop off the baby at her home, and instead of dropping off the baby at her home and leaving, he allegedly went into her home and took a picture of her unmade bed and said, Now I see what you be on." So, um, it's been really big in the news cycles. It's been really big. People are saying that we don't have enough evidence.
We don't have enough evidence, in my opinion. Because and this is what I
That's what people are saying.
and this is what I hate about situations like this.
Mm.
I'm not a believe all men or a believe all women type of person. The way I grew up, I've caught my parents in lies. I've caught my aunties and cousins in lies. I've caught my big brothers. I've caught friends in lies. I remember I had a friend. Oh man, I ain't sleep with that girl. I ain't do this. She in my DM showing me a picture of a baby that looked just like him. I'm like, bro, you cut off, bro. I ain't rocking with you. If you ain't taking care of your kids, I don't rock with dudes that don't take care of their kids. He like, all right, man, whatever. Got it together. So I'm not that type of person that's just gonna believe my friend, believe my homegirl, believe my sister, believe anybody. I believe evidence. Now, if I'm on, if I receive these pictures of the physical altercation, then that is cause to spark an investigation, go to court or do whatever you're gonna do. I understand from that perspective, but just saying a picture and some alleged text messages is enough to take the parental rights from a man or a woman. I think is crazy. But again, like we were talking about,
hmm
black men in America specifically, but men in America, when it comes to children, we don't have real rights.
Yeah.
Like we don't have, like even in the state of Georgia, if you have a baby with your girlfriend and y'all not married, you have to go petition for your rights for that baby.
Yeah.
You literally have to go sign paperwork, and you have to go up to the like after the baby is born. Even though you're right there when the baby is born, they don't care about none of that.
Yeah.
The mom has parental rights, 100%, and I know that for a fact in Georgia. But like in LA where they at, I mean, it might be a little different, but LA is even, it might
Yeah.
even be
It
worse. You
might
know,
be
they
worse.
always
Yeah.
have different laws. So my thing is, a bad relationship um, doesn't equal a bad father.
hmm
So I would love to see them settle their differences in private. All of this coming to TMZ and to the public and all of this shit is weird as hell because um, as a person who works in media and run my life through media, I'm here to tell you 100% fact that most of media is lies and bullshit and propaganda. Most of it is. Most of it is. I'm telling you, if you tell the facts in media, you can build a great company, you can build a great business, but you don't become a TMZ. You don't become a shade room without having a certain narrative.
Right.
And that's no shot to them because, I mean, I fuck with their brands. I like what they got going on. All I'm saying is there's always hidden agendas behind things. You put the pressure on him now in the public because they're all Halle's the mermaid. They're going to believe her.
Yeah.
They're going to believe her 100%.
She has the cute, innocent reputation to be protected, right? And I'm not saying or insinuating that she's guilty of anything, but like you said, it's a Disney princess, right?
Come on, bro.
Like, you've got to make sure that at all costs, anything that she says is like, we're going to make sure this hits the light of day and hold whoever accountable if something did actually happen. But I think generally speaking, I haven't done too much data, homework, or research, but from what I have heard or seen, I feel like there needs to be more to just flat out say this person is guilty of what he's being accused of.
It's interesting that what she presented is not enough.
It's not.
I think that's interesting that when you have alleged text messages going into this person's home, going into this person's bedroom, when you have pictures
that's her baby daddy. Like he probably has a key to her house.
He's not entitled to go in
He's
her
not
bedroom.
entitled, but let's not act like your child's father, your boyfriend, the person you've been with the whole time, that is cool with your family and all of this, isn't going to have access to your life enough to drop your son off and to be able to take a picture. Like, that's normal behavior to me.
Absolutely weird. That's weird behavior. If we are no longer in a relationship, there is no reason why you need to be in my room taking pictures, sending it to me.
We have a child together.
What does that have to do with my room? What does that have to do with my room? If you're dropping off the kid has their own room. Why are you in my room? That's weird. That you're not entitled to my room. You're not entitled to my space. We share the kid. Drop the kid off, and I'll be there. That's creepy. He also had a video. I don't know if you've seen the video, but he was like stalking his other girlfriend, like popped up on her, without her knowing, and she was like, "Where did you get here? When did you get here?"
That's a skit.
That's
Definitely that's a skit.
I don't know if that was a skit.
That's the problem with somebody like a DDG. Everything he know how to manipulate the internet so good and so much that he can
He's manipulated, all right.
He can post things up and people will be like, "Oh my God, that's gospel," and he take it. Bruh, that shit is it's all a skit.
I think his edge is that he could do weird stuff and then call it a skit. I think that's what he can do. He can do weird stuff and be like, it was fake. I got you.
You make people famous on the internet for just doing whatever they feel like.
Yeah, I mean,
have
that's his lane. His lane, because then just on the weird stuff in general. Buying your son a Ferrari and then you didn't buy your son a Ferrari. Yeah, it was a skit too. I just doing weird stuff. I'm just doing weird stuff.
Clicks and views. that's money.
That's a skit. So I think it's he's given himself enough of a reputation where you're like, okay, something's definitely off with this dude for sure. Like, I don't know why like other people don't have to use the gimmicks and the things that you do to be in your lane. Not literally buy your son a car.
Yes, you don't think that's every influencer online faking like they buying cars. All these people lying.
No. Fake buy your son a car.
I mean, everybody knew he didn't buy his son a car for real.
No, because when he streamed and the girl said, she was like, well, where's the Ferrari at? Like, I thought, didn't you give Halo a Ferrari? And she was like, oh, well, if you want to know the truth about that, I rented that. But people didn't think that was not real. People thought it was weird.
But here's how crazy that is. If somebody said they bought a 2-year-old a car, how crazy do you have to be to even believe that?
We all knew it was his car. We all knew that he was driving it. What we didn't know is that it was rented and it was all for clout. And it was really just for nothing.
But okay, again, he's an actor. This is the problem with people.
He's an entertainer.
People don't give entertainers and actors. They all are the same people. So when people do stupid stuff in movies and they do dumb stuff for clout, and they're on like a Hollywood stage, that's different than if they're on YouTube. YouTube is entertainment. It's Hollywood. All of it is intertwined. It's the same. Social media is the same. And a lot of people don't know how to decipher between social media acting and influencing streaming. It's all the same shit. All these actors, all these people that be doing these walking up to girls and doing interviews and doing all that shit be a skit. All them be the girls that be saying this weird shit when they walk up to girls and be like, how many bodies can a man have and do it? Them be OnlyFans girls. People don't be knowing that. They be promoting their OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So all of this stuff is scam. Mostly all these internet niggas and girls and everybody online do weird shit for views.
The problem is you're using a real event to do fake things. Like a real birthday party to do fake things. And then not letting people know, like, oh, yeah, like, let me see how my baby mom react to a fake card that I bought. Like, that's something that's more like,
but
content.
when you get paid for views,
Content.
when you get paid for views, and when you get paid for clicks and likes as a content
It
creator,
always comes down to the money.
you do it for the money.
So what we're saying then is it's okay to be weird and do weird stuff as long as you're getting paid. Now, if you're not
Of
getting
course.
paid,
Yeah.
if you're
Tyler
not
Perry
getting
put on
paid,
a dress. That's weird as hell. He made $1 billion. That's weird.
I don't know about that. If that's weird, a lot of comics have done it.
So comics get DDG's a comic. He's a comic.
Is he? He's an actor. He's a comic. What else
Yes.
He's an
he do?
entertainer.
He's
It's an
definitely a
entertainer.
clown
He can
for
be
sure.
all of the above. He cannot.
You can't be all above. Why the black man can't be all above?
What I'm saying is, if you're streaming, that's fine. But being somebody who's really into comedy, being somebody who's really writing this, like you ain't no Martin Lawrence. You know what I'm saying?
He's the
Like,
Martin Lawrence of our
you're not the-
generation, though. That's the thing
but
about
not
it.
even though.
Yes, he is.
Martin Lawrence was an actual entertainer. Actually had a studio.
But
actually had a
He
set
actually,
actors.
but you don't need that nowadays
This is
because you
different.
have a camera.
You set it up in your basement.
This is the whole thing. Just like they say, Kai
so
Cenat is the
Kai Cenat
iCarly.
is not more talented or just as talented as the guys like Martin Lawrence.
No,
He's
they're
getting
not.
people entertained for 30 days straight. People are
Yes,
tuning in watching this.
these
man.
are the Martin Lawrences and the Will Smiths of our generation.
So
they just
what-
doing it through a different medium.
What we gotta understand is online things is fine, right? Online, anything goes. When you're talking about a craft, you measure twice, you cut once. When you're talking about an actual craft, there are parameters. There are beats that you have to hit. It's not loosey goosey.
So you don't think
just
he
do whatever
has-
you want?
you don't
no,
think he has a
I
craft
think
or entertainment?
What I'm saying is it's definitely a different type of craft when you're a real entertainer. I don't think that he can't toe to toe with real entertainers.
he is though.
But on the streaming and
But
YouTube,
again,
streaming and YouTube, you can't put him next to like Jennifer Hudson and think that he's going to outshine Jennifer Hudson. Jennifer Hudson got it by beat. Sherry Shepherd got it by beat.
And I guarantee
Tamron
you,
Hall got it by
I
beat.
guarantee you,
beat by
none of them
beat.
can go online and entertain people for 10
30
hours in a
days
row.
straight.
And that is fine. That's what I'm saying. It's
It's
a different type
level
of craft.
But they're the same. They're the same thing though.
They're not the same. You
Yes, they
just
are.
said you
Entertainment.
can't interchange. Like if one can't do the other, then they're not the same. Like if Jennifer Hudson can't do what Kai Cenat is doing, then
But you can't call Kai Cenat not a real entertainer just because he's not doing what Hollywood from 20 years ago is used to. That's the whole point of being an innovator. And innovation is I'm doing something that 20 years ago, and the actors, Will Smith, Kevin Hart, all these dudes, they couldn't dream of doing. They didn't have the technology. They didn't have the platforms to be Instagram creators. And the reason I say this, and I'm even defending this, is because people say the same thing about me. I reach 200 million people a month with my platform. Damn, that was loud. I reach 200 million people a month with my platform. I got the analytics to prove it. People will say, that's just an Instagram page. That's just, you ain't really no media company. Dude, all these other
it's
media
personal.
companies going broke. So, yeah, just because you got a website and writing up an article, fuck an article. We're going to put it right on Instagram. I'm going to make way more money than you. I'm going to reach more people than you. I'm going to connect with more people than you because I'm changing with the times. I can't be sitting back and be a dinosaur and saying, I need a website and I need to write these extensive articles when ChatGPT writing the article. Yeah. I can't be a dinosaur. So my point is these guys are innovators and we can't call them not real entertainers because they're not, waiting tables in LA trying to get on a Hollywood star like Taraji was doing. No. If Taraji was in today's era, she would be a streamer.
All day.
Jennifer Hudson would be a
Yeah.
streamer. Tamron Hall, all of them
Yep.
would be streamers and YouTubers. Issa Rae. So is Issa Rae not a
No, Issa Rae
She started in YouTube. She was a YouTuber though.
Yeah, but she earned her stripes. She in the studio now.
That's not fair though,
She
because
in-
Kaisa
she
Knott
in the
and all of
studio
these
now.
dudes, that's not fair to them.
That's the
'Cause
goalpost though. That's the goalpost. They would relish the
You
opportunity.
know
to
Kevin
have their
Hart
own-
blew
they
up
ha-
on YouTube.
And you know Kevin Hart has his own studio. That's the goal.
They have their own studios too.
That's the goal. The goal is to have your own studio. The goal is to have be able to
But they
to
have their own
create
studios.
Who?
These guys not even 25 years old, are they?
No. DDG
No,
might be like
DDG is like
26.
Okay,
27,
Tyson Knott?
28.
Tyson Knott like
He's
22.
young. He's very young. He's
How
very
you
young.
gonna say he ain't got his...
What?
Hold on, so Tyson Knott don't have his own studio. He has a mansion. It's a content
in
house.
his house.
Okay, so
That's a studio.
okay, so when I say studio, let's be clear about definitions. When I say studio, I mean this is a space where different projects. Like Tyler Perry has a huge studio.
But Hollywood says Tyler Perry don't have a studio to Hollywood. They don't give a
What
fuck
do you
about
mean?
That's what Tyler Perry's whole speech and whole career is about. He's not being embraced by Hollywood
but-
because he's independent.
He's not being embraced by Hollywood, but that we're not going to say that he didn't buy the acreage that he bought and the space that he bought and the crew that. That's what I'm saying. There's just a different
It's
level.
always gonna be a
I'm not-
goalpost,
But
man.
he's
I'm not-
old enough to be their father.
That and what I'm not saying. I feel like this is what you're hearing. What you're hearing is that DDG is not really out here making money. He's not
He's not
really out here
entertaining. You said he's
entertaining
not
people.
you said he's not a real entertainer.
I said there's levels. And there are. There's levels. But
How do we
whether
track
he's
those
an
levels?
Where was Tyler Perry at in his career when he was 25, 26?
That's not
he was doing plays.
Yeah, he was doing
But
plays.
if
Right.
Tyler
So
Perry
what's
Well,
was
to say
wait.
that
I
DDG
don't know
won't
about
be
25,
where-
26. I don't know where he was.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was about
he
to
was
say,
doing plays.
That's
Yeah,
my
he was doing
point.
plays.
He wasn't in his 20s is what I'm saying. He was a lot older when he started his
No.
plays and
Tyler
stuff.
Perry started doing stuff when he was 20, 21. Tyler Perry, he got a documentary about it. He was doing stuff when he was 20 and 21. His shit was failing.
Okay.
He wasn't doing numbers, but he was doing like a play and only 3 people showed up.
Okay.
And then
okay.
he'll go
Because by
broke.
the time he blew up, because he's in his 50s now, right?
Yeah, by the time he blew up, he was
Yeah.
like in his 30s or 40s.
I was about to say, that's
so
what
he
I
didn't just
remember.
blow up overnight.
Okay.
He was doing it for 10 years and flopped.
So what's to say the DDGs and Kai Cenats of the world aren't on pace to be the next Tyler Perry's?
And to be the next Martin Lawrence's and Will Smith.
That's why I said there's levels. That's why I said there's levels. You keep
I'm gonna
like,
argue
you
that at
keep
the age that
proving
these
what I'm
guys are
trying
at
to say.
right now,
They're
popping
further.
hotter than those guys were when they were in their early
Yeah.
20s.
Probably, and look, sustainability is the name of the game. Well, I'm not saying that they're not on the trajectory to be the next big thing.
So
to get
Halle,
those
is Halle a
studios.
real entertainer?
Come on now. Well, that's not even a real question.
How? How
That's
is it
not
not?
even a real question.
Oh, how is it not? How is it not?
Is Halle a real entertainer?
She is, but DDG isn't.
What I'm saying is DDG would love to be on Halle's level of
I don't think so.
projects.
I don't think so.
I think that's the goal. The goal is to get into these spaces where you can.
Well, I gotta
like,
follow
if he
somebody
could-
else's script versus
Like,
my own.
no, I didn't say that. I'm just saying that this is the trajectory. This is the goal. Now,
That
if
used
you
to
don't,
be the goal,
if
though.
you don't, if
is what we saying.
what I'm saying is this: if this is sustainable, like we thought that what's the name virtual reality meta. What was, everybody was buying them monkeys
NFTs.
NFTs.
That technology is sustainable, just not the NFT shit.
If this is sustainable, then absolutely, why not? You can stay in your lane, but the crossover potential that is in studios is just a different level. We are talking about DDG right now. If we were on a public transportation bus, there are going to be people who don't know who we're talking about. If we were on a public
Everybody don't know Halle.
Everybody knows the Little Mermaid, and that is the difference.
I don't think
the
so.
difference is
I don't think so.
we did the experiment at my house. The difference is literally somebody who is 50-something years old walked into my house. We literally had this debate on Christmas. Who is Halle Bailey, the Little Mermaid? Who is DDG? I don't know. He
And that's
has a
that's
he
because
has a
his
certain
crowd is 25 and
demographic.
under.
That's what I'm saying. He has a certain different demographic. She would have a certain demographic too, but she got the crossover when she went to a studio.
Okay,
There
let me
is
ask you
just
this.
levels to it. The same way Beyonce crossover with single ladies. There is just a different level of entertainment ability and the money and the reach and the broadcast.
No,
Also,
Don't say the money, because TLC was the hottest shit ever, and they was bankrupt.
well, they had a bad deal.
How you know she ain't got a bad deal?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
So would you rather
the
have a
potential
bad
money.
deal? Would you rather have a bad deal, or would you rather have 500,000 people giving you $2 a month on Twitch and on YouTube?
And so that's hard because again, there's one is sustainability, the other one is reach.
Like, okay, is Mr. Beast? Is he a real entertainer?
Who is Mr. Beast?
You don't know who Mr. Beast is?
See?
Oh, my
No,
goodness.
who is
Oh
Mr.
my
Beast?
God,
Who
the
is
biggest
Mr. Beast?
YouTuber
Mr.
in the
YouTube.
world. He had 400 million subscribers
I
on
guess
YouTube.
I'm not one, huh?
Mr. Beast has more clout than him.
He has more clout than Haley, DDG, Kyson, and all of them put together.
Can y'all look up Mr. Beast?
You seriously?
Can
Are
y'all
you being
look up-
serious?
I'm being so
You look
serious.
up Mr. Beast.
All right, I will look. I think we're off the subject.
And he's under 30. I don't know how old he is. He's not 30
Mr. Beast
yet,
like 27. She don't know. She don't know who Mr. Beast is.
this can't be who y'all talking about.
Yes, you don't know who that is.
Why would I know who this is?
Listen, I'm not even
He's
into
the biggest content creator in the world.
But why would I
literally.
know who this is? What content does he? Who does he create for?
Watch
He
2
creates for black
videos and your
women.
mouth will be on the floor.
You
It
know,
is
Why
real.
would
It is
I?
production.
Why would I care? No.
Because it's
Why would I care?
entertaining.
because
The same
Is
way
it-
you're
would it
entertained
be
by a
entertain-
mermaid, you would be entertained by him.
because
No, that's
he got
script,
400
that's story, that's plot, that's climax.
Why isn't this a story?
he has 400 million subscribers.
Okay.
Is he not a real entertainer? He only do
JoJo
YouTube.
Siwa is a real entertainer.
Yes.
Like I'm not.
JoJo
I-
Siwa is he a real entertainer?
I'm not, but she
But she
also
started on YouTube.
But she also crossed over. That's what I'm saying. Then you start seeing her in different things. Like there is a crossover. People want to, and it's fine that people want to get to that crossover. People want to get there.
You know what I'm gonna tell you? I think you're falling into the trap of what Hollywood sells, and this is how they take advantage of a lot of people. Because most people, and this happens more to women than men, because men are financially minded. Men think about money because that's how we're judged.
Women are not.
No. Women are not. Y'all, again, women don't. That's not what y'all, in society. I'm talking about societal roles, right? So we're talking about financial security. We're talking about independence. What you're talking about is clout. So that's it. Hold on, no, listen, hear me out. This is what Taraji, and I'm gonna use Taraji as a great example.
Please.
Because this is what Taraji was crying about in The Color Purple and during her interviews. She said every movie they told her, this is going to be the movie that's going to change your life. Mm-hmm. This is going to be the movie. I know we giving Brad Pitt $10 million because he's a white man that's focused on money. But with you, what we're going to do is we're going to put you in this role. We're only going to give you $150,000 though. But don't be ashamed, because your next movie is going to be that one that makes you cross over into the big leagues, right? And she never crossed over into the big leagues because she's been getting ripped off her whole entire career. And Tyler Perry was the only person that paid her $500,000. And now she's at the end of her career, and she's realized she bought the bullshit instead of being independent and saying, let me be focused on my money. Let me do my own thing. I don't care if I'm on the big stages in Hollywood and crossing over, because that's what they sell you. Cross over, but we're not going to pay you no fucking money. And that's where men think different, is because we're not judged based off of our clout. We're judged based off of what can you do? Can you take care of family? Can you pay bills? Can you do this? Can you do that? I'm okay with that pressure, but I'm also okay with creating something on my own. Because if I was waiting to cross over, I'd be a broke ass journalist. I'd be a broke ass journalist trying to figure it out and not getting a shot in the media space. Because I was that guy when I was applying for jobs and stuff like that. They were not giving me I was not getting opportunities, and I was going to be like, right now I have a media company, but people will say this is not crossed over to because I'm not on the news. And it's like, well, the news is going bankrupt. These
Right.
companies going out of
Ain't nobody
business.
watching it.
And
So
our companies
radio's going bankrupt too.
Yes, radio's going bankrupt too.
They're on YouTube,
Yeah, a lot of people
which is
are.
where you'll find this and where Mr. Beast is popping.
All right, James, give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. Give me 2
Go ahead,
minutes.
cook. Go ahead.
Give me
Go
2
ahead,
minutes.
cook.
Okay. Taraji, to your point, I think Taraji made a lot of mistakes in her career. That is.
Can you list the mistakes?
That's Taraji. What I will list is Regina King is in a different place. What I will say is Denzel Washington is in a different place. What I will say is that there are people who did exactly what she was looking to do. She made Viola Davis is in a different place. She not Woman King. Wakanda Forever. She played Nakia. She's from Kenya by way of Mexico.
I'm not sure. You want me to look it up while you going?
Yeah. She's in a different place in her career. So I definitely think she made the decisions that she made. She got the raw deals that she made. Everybody's story is not Taraji P. Henson's story. A lot of people's story you can see.
Are you talking about her?
No, I'm talking about
Her right here?
Nakia. She's the leading lady in this. How is she not on here?
I don't know.
But yeah, we'll keep going. A lot of people made a lot of different decisions. They were able to reach that crossover. You can even say, you can argue that Tyler Perry even crossed over. I know a lot of people with a lot of different ethnicities, race, countries who know who Tyler Perry is. I think that we're getting off the subject a little bit. D.L. Hughley said something about Kanye West one time that I never forgot. He said that you should not be able to play a beat so well. You should not be able to make a beat so well. You should not be able to make a song so good that harassment is okay. And it's the same thing with DDG. You should not be a. You
But
should
his
not
harassment
be,
hasn't been
2 minutes,
proven though.
30 more seconds. if you should not be able to stream so well, have as many subscribers as you have, be so self-made, make so much money. You should not be able to do those things so well that abuse and harassment is pacified, is negotiated, and it is condoned in this matter.
Oh, believe me, it's not.
So
They're putting every black man as deep down, far under the dirt as they can the moment they get a chance, no matter how hot they are.
So
we're not
and
getting
here's
a break
the thing,
on that.
And here's the thing. The idea that we are now in a place where we can actually file for harassment, be looked into in court, and also I just want to let everybody know here that Halle was not, submitting these documents to TMZ. TMZ got the plug in California because Harvey is a lawyer, so he has that.
You had access to that. Yeah.
He get everybody's legal documents that happen in California anyway. So you should not be able to do those things that we condone. And this is the thing. As black people, we want to be believed. Like, as black people, when things happen to us by way of police brutality, and we have pictures to prove it, and we have documentation to say, hey, this police officer did this and abused his power in this way, we don't need people to say, well, you got fentanyl in your system, so it doesn't matter. So, you was running from the police, so you deserve whatever you got. No, when we see those pictures, when Emmett Till's mama made sure that she had an open casket for her baby because she wanted them pictures to be seen. She wanted people to see what happened to her baby. Halle is somebody's baby. And something happened to her. And somebody needs to be held accountable. And you should not be able to stream so well that it doesn't matter.
But okay. Let me ask you this. Everything you said about Halle can be said about DDG. He's somebody's baby. Halle, the Little Mermaid, shouldn't be as good enough to where you just believe anything she said. I'm not saying she's wrong. I'm just saying let it play out in court and let's see some real evidence, because taking a picture of your teeth in 2025 when you got videos on your Snapchat and TikTok, because you're world famous, so people save your videos for some odd reason. And people posting these videos up saying like, well, Halle, you said in 2022 that you were going to the dentist because of your chipped tooth, and you zoomed in and showed us the exact tooth that you're posting up as evidence. So now there's a reasonable doubt, which is a constitutional right. So we can't just throw DDG under the bus because it's like, okay, let's go to court. Let's hear his side. Let's hear her side. I don't know what's controversial about let's hear both sides and let's hear all evidence before we crucify DDG and say he can't see his son.
Then keep that same energy when it's somebody with the police. Hear it out.
I
Don't
do.
believe.
I
Say
keep
the
the
police
same
officers have the right to use the force that they
That's
think
why
is
they got
necessary.
body cams
That's what
now.
I got. They streaming live.
No, but
Their body
They
cam.
content creators now.
that's what I'm saying. But also keep in mind, and then I looked this stat up last night, the idea that these people are falsely accusing their aggressors, the statistic is between 2 and 10%. So this usually is true. This usually
But what about
is-
when they are? What about when they get caught lying, and they actually?
who lied?
I mean, it's a lot of people that lie. What
That's
what
what
was
I'm
that
saying.
lady name?
Going to court.
What was that lady name that they went to court and he sued her? He sued his ex-wife for defamation. That shit was just one of the biggest cases in the world. What?
Johnny Depp's wife.
Yes!
Johnny Depp's wife. Yeah, she lied. But Johnny Depp's Rihanna didn't lie.
Yes.
Like, yeah,
No.
like
Rihanna
Kim-
came out. Rihanna was beating Chris Brown ass.
Yeah,
She
but
came out and said this.
Rihanna didn't lie about the altercation.
But she was beating Chris Brown ass though. So she was just as guilty.
I don't know about none of that. I remember an interview with Rihanna. I remember an interview
She was
with
abusing
Rihanna,
Chris Brown too.
and
She
I
said we
remember
both
she said,
were abusive.
I remember she said that
So she
they
was
would,
wrong, just like Chris Brown.
but not okay. It's excessive force, right?
How you know it wasn't excessive just because it's going against Chris Brown?
No.
She's wrong too.
Excessive is her face.
I'm teaching my daughter,
Her
you don't put your hands on a
excessive
man,
is
and
her
a man don't put
face.
your hands on you.
And nobody
It's
should
not
put their
okay-
hands on anybody.
It's not okay for Rihanna to beat Chris Brown ass, but Chris Brown can't hit her. Y'all
But
both wrong.
No. What I'm saying is she had to get nose surgery. Like what I'm saying,
both wrong, though.
is she was in the hospital.
So is it okay because Chris Brown can take a punch?
So what we're saying,
That's not right,
is
bro.
it's okay to abuse women. You're
no,
exposing yourself.
No. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm
You're
saying both of them
exposing yourself
wrong.
on live.
Did I say that? I said both of them are wrong. I said Rihanna wrong and Chris Brown wrong.
No, you literally was like, she hit him, so whatever she gets,
No.
what she gets.
I'm not
That's
saying
not what he
that's
said.
not what I said. I said she's wrong, just like Chris Brown. Chris Brown got crucified because it was an image and it was a video
Okay.
and it was all this. But when she came out and said that we both were abusive, we both were wrong, we were young, let's move on. That's how Chris Brown got his career back.
Chris Brown
for about
got his career back because he took accountability. He went
And Rihanna
he
took
said,
accountability.
I am
They
guilty. I am
both
guilty
took accountability
for doing
though.
that.
They both took accountability. Chris Brown did, and Rihanna said, we both were young, we both were wrong, we both were abusive. Let's move on. And that's when Chris Brown started getting corporate deals. He started going on tour. He started getting booked because until Rihanna came out and said we both were abusive, that's when she was seen as a victim, which she exactly is. She's a victim.
Okay.
But Chris Brown was a victim as well.
So what you're saying then is he's a victim because she was abusive to him.
Both of them are
Even
wrong.
though you didn't have any evidence to support
My
that.
evidence is her on camera.
So because she said it, you're going to believe her.
Yes.
So she's not lying.
Why would she lie on herself that she's hitting a man that she was
I'm
in
just
a relationship
asking
with?
you why. So we're believing her when it's in favor of Chris Brown.
No, it's not in favor of Chris Brown. She's taking accountability.
So, but we're believing her. We're believing what she says.
If she's
when do you
taking-
believe women, and when do you
most
debate
people don't
what she
throw
says?
themselves under the bus.
Why would
for
she
no
say
reason.
that though? Why would if she's taking accountability
Like,
and
it's not
saying
true.
like, hey, we both were abusive in a relationship. Chris Brown got out of control this one time that was documented and that went too fucking far. That was the end of our relationship. But I was abusive in the relationship. If she came out and said that, I say cancel both of them or let both of them have a career. And we know y'all ain't canceling Rihanna, so let Chris. If they both took accountability, Chris Brown is wrong, Rihanna is wrong. I don't know what to, I don't know why that's controversial to say. If she took accountability and said I'm wrong in this situation, I was hitting Chris Brown too. He hit me. It went too far. He broke my nose or he did whatever he did. I don't see why Chris Brown should be crucified and threw to the wolves, but Rihanna should just live on and be a billionaire and be happily ever after. They both took accountability. They both were wrong. And I'm not a believe all women, believe all men. I'm saying take accountability for your actions. I will not teach my daughter it's okay to slap your husband, and if not, and then it's wrong for your husband to slap you. Both of y'all are wrong. You don't put your hands on a man. Do not put your hands on a man. That's what
I'm not
that's what
saying
I'm teaching
I'm
my
not
daughter.
saying that Rihanna's right. I'm not saying that she's right, but in the case of excessive force, that's what we're dealing with. Like if in the case of your knee is on my neck, we're dealing with excessive force. I'm not saying he wasn't selling Lucy's on the street. I'm not saying he wasn't on drugs in the arrest. I'm saying it's excessive force,
So we
and
can wrestle, but we can't punch.
we have to deal with the excessive force.
So let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this. Okay, if Rihanna haul off and slap the hell out of Chris Brown, what is he supposed to do?
He's supposed to do what she's supposed to do if he did that to her.
Well, he's supposed to just.
He's supposed to call the police.
Okay.
He's supposed to call the police and
Okay.
say Rihanna just slapped the shit out of me.
Okay, I agree with you on that. Chris Brown
And leave.
or any man is guilty because we can actually take the punch. We can get hit and absorb the hit and just move on. If we hit y'all fall out, boom, go to the police, y'all because we're powerful.
So you know that.
Yes.
So just go to the police. It's like it would be the equivalent. It would be the equivalent of somebody, an adult my age, and maybe they're smaller than me, shorter than me, not as big as me or whatever. Maybe they feel like they want to hit me for whatever reason. I know I can beat them. I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to use the fact that I can look at them and see that I am physically bigger and I know that I can beat them. So if you hit me, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you.
But
I'm not going to use that as my, if you hit me, I am going to call the police.
We're also talking,
and I will see
we're
you
also
in court.
talking as rational adults, and we're not two entertainers who have everything they want in the world, have all the money they want in the world, are probably on drugs, like famous.
Probably on drugs.
You know, they doing all of it, and they're in an intimate relationship. They probably, one of them got caught cheating or what. We don't know what really happened and what really went down. All I'm saying is, if Chris Brown is wrong, which I am on record saying he is wrong,
Okay.
why is Rihanna getting a pass if she came out and said, I take accountability for my actions. We both were abusive. We both were wrong. Can we move on from this situation? I got a family. I'm happy. He has his own situation that he was going on with Karuchi. Let's move on and let's give him his career back. Let's move on. And why is that wrong?
And if you're saying that both parties took accountability, so we all, the public, can move past, that would have been okay if Chris Brown then didn't continue his violence, because then Karuchi had to file a restraining order on Chris Brown. So the reason why the reason why he's in jail right now is because he's a violent man.
You gotta get out, brother. I was coming to see you, man. You on tour right now. I was trying to buy a ticket,
See, so the path that you're talking about that you want for possibly you want that for Chris Brown, right? Would have been his trajectory. Like you said, he got his endorsements back, It would have been his trajectory if he didn't continue.
I'm not debating that he's not a violent
violence.
person. I agree he's a violent person. But I also agree that Rihanna was a violent woman.
Okay. But like you said, if they both took accountability, why Chris Brown don't get the pass? I'm just saying that's why. Because he continued his cycle of violence. Chris Brown doesn't get the pass because Chris Brown don't want the pass.
He keep giving the pass back. But all I'm saying is there's concrete evidence on both of them.
Yeah, he keep giving the pass. He's like, I don't want it.
But again, let's move on this. But with the DDG and Halle thing, it's just one accusation that needs to go to court and get proven. And if DDG is wrong, if he put his hands on her, he should suffer the repercussions, whether it's jail. I don't know what the law is on whatever he did, because I'm hearing different stories. One, it was so severe, and then another one is just a picture. So I don't really know. Once we go and get the evidence of how severe this was there a police report? Did you go to the hospital? Did you have to do the? That's the only way we can really judge off of how severe something was, right? If Chris Brown broke Rihanna's nose or whatever he did to her, that is a whole different ball game than he just pushed her. Like those are two different things.
So,
So
so we're going to compare suffering.
No, I mean you the one was saying excessive force.
you said
versus
excessive force
Yeah,
versus
yeah,
soft
yeah.
force. I don't know
What-
what the I don't know what the line
force
is.
is
but
force.
Well, so we're comparing suffering or comparing force in two different cases, though.
What you mean? No.
Like Rihanna, Chris Brown. Okay, I will say this. Yes, DDG did not do what Chris Brown. Yes, absolutely. DDG did not do what Chris Brown did. And so, do I think that DDG deserves to what Chris Brown got
What
as
does
far
DDG
as
deserve?
all of those things?
What does he deserve?
I think
based
that-
on if the accusations
Eh,
that Halle said were 100%
You know what?
true.
The problem is we're focused too much on DDG and we're not focused on the victims. And this is how conversations like this get really insensitive because 40 to 45% of black women suffer domestic violence. 30, which is above all other racial groups. And only 2% to 10% are false. So for us to be in her face debating whether she's lying or not is crazy when all the statistics point to this lady is likely telling the truth. Just like if a police officer was to get physical with either one of you all, and you had pictures to show, I would not say that James is lying, Cliff is lying. I would believe you both because the statistics is on your side as far as the rate of police brutality. The rate of domestic violence towards a black woman is the highest of any other racial group, and we have got to contend with that. We have got to engage with that seriously.
I'm not debating anything in terms of
You
domestic
know I'm going to
violence.
expand ideas and grind your gears now.
I'm not saying anything on domestic violence. All I'm saying is, as a black man in America, we are guilty until proven innocence. We come out the womb guilty. When we're 5 years old and as innocent as anybody, they call us aggressive. They call us over hyper. They call us we got ADHD. We're overstimulated. But they call the other kids, oh man, he's very smart. He's
both
very
of you are correct. There's not enough attention being paid to the victim, right? We do need to acknowledge that. We need to take into serious consideration what these allegations
and
are.
I'm doing that.
And you are also correct that we are born guilty.
We're born
whatever
guilty.
it
We
is.
got to prove our innocence every single day.
But you take it out on us. Y'all take it out on black women. We are y'all sisters. We are y'all mothers. We have done nothing for black men but comfort y'all, to support y'all. We lead all the movements. For you to then and say these people are treating me this way, baby. I hear you.
But black women have lied on black men before, just like black men have lied on black women before.
But the idea that you're using the power structure that it is, baby, I don't have nothing to do with that power structure. I am not out here looking. You are my 5-year-old. You are my son. We are absent of the pressure that black men feel is not by black women. The pressure that black men feel in society, those power structures that black men that are trying to stifle the uplift and the forward motion of black men, those structures are not black women, and we can't conflate the two.
I'm
we
not
cannot
saying
conflate the
we're
two.
not saying that. I'm saying that in any situation, whether it's a black man and a white girl, black man and a white man, black man and anybody, all I'm saying is, in all of those situations, the black man is guilty until proven innocent. And there has been times, I don't care what statistics we look at, there are times when black men lie on other people. We know that. There are times when black women lie on other people. We know that. There are times where black women lie on black men. We know that. I've seen personally my family members lying on their husband. We whoop their ass. And then it comes out that, oh, she was the one that was the aggressor. She stole all of his money. She did this. She bust all his windows out. It's on video. And here we are sitting there saying, okay, well, this is my auntie, so I'm going to ride for my auntie. And that shit gets you in a lot of trouble. So I'm saying when we look at these situations, it would help the society if we can hear both sides, look at the evidence, and make our decisions on who's guilty, who deserves to be punished, who deserves to be considered the victim. Because, again, there is a possibility out there that all of this shit is fake. Because I work in media. I can cook up a story right now to make him look like he robbed me. I can cook up a story because I know I have the skill to do it. I can cook up a story to make any celebrity, any of your favorite celebrities, I can cook up a story to make them look like the worst people in America.
And the other media outlets will pick it up.
And they'll pick it up. They won't even fact check it.
Right.
They won't even fact check it. Because when I first got in this game, I was guilty of that. See a headline, just post the headline, and then the person literally hit me up like, bro, that shit fake. Take that down. A lot of celebrities, that's how I got a lot of celebrity people that rock with my brand, because they be like, bro, that shit fake. Take it down. Bro, the video, we was on the phone and Rick Ross wrote me and said, no, that was fake. Take it down, bro.
Yeah.
He like, I fuck with y'all. Like, that shit fake. That shit cap. And I'm like, all right, bet. And then all the other media outlets, they seen me take it down. They hit me up like, damn, why you take this down? Because Rick Ross hit me up in the DM and said it was fake. Okay. Then TMZ come out. Oh, I'm sorry. We misreported. This was fake. They come out and do it all the time. They get sued just like everybody else. They just got sued for the Kobe shit. They got sued for a whole bunch of things because they make mistakes too. They lie too because they just want to run with the story and put something out, and then they don't get all of the evidence. So all I'm saying is media lies. Men lie, women lie, white people lie, judges lie, Supreme Court lie, presidents lie, everybody lies. Like, we all either are lying or telling the truth. And there's a 50% chance that you can be lying or telling the truth. And there's 3 sides to a story: the truth, his side, and her side. We haven't even got her side. I mean, we only got her side. We haven't got his side, or we haven't got the real truth with it, which is we don't fucking know. At the end of the day, we don't know who's doing what. She's probably positioning him to take him to court, get hella child support, ruin his reputation. Or she's probably telling the fucking truth and trying to send his ass to jail. We don't know that until we see the evidence. What if he come out and actually say, you know what, I was whooping Halle ass, I'm sorry, this, that, and the third. All right, we heard his side, we heard her side, send his ass to jail. That's all I'm saying. We ain't heard nothing from this dude. What if Halle come out and say, you know what, I was wrong? Because she did do that. Y'all remember when
with the baby thing?
Yes.
On Kai
because
Cenat's
everybody
stream?
called her out and said, girl, you got 15 million followers. You got him on your page. Your sister have him on your live. Y'all be on live with hundreds of thousands of people watching. So what is the difference between Chloe? Why can Chloe have the baby and be on live and be all out and doing this, but DDG can't have his own son sitting in his lap on live? It's the hypocrisy. Like, she came out and said, you know what, I was actually wrong. Ha ha. Everybody swept that under the rug, though. Everybody swept that under the rug. She came out and said she was wrong. I appreciate Halle for taking accountability because she was absolutely wrong.
Has DDG ever took accountability?
What do you mean?
I'm just asking. Has he ever said that he was wrong for anything?
Of course.
Like,
I mean, he say he lied all the time. That's what I'm saying. He just said he lied about the car shit.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
So why is it that he can lie but she can't? All I'm saying is they both can be liars. I don't know why. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Let's go. I don't know why they both can't be fucking liars. And we all getting played by the media.
Maybe they sitting back laughing, making money, ain't nobody gonna hurt.
Done.
Bro, they sitting back.
Ruby Rose not lying too, but go ahead. What's the next?
I mean, she probably is. Wow.
They both lying.
They both lying.
Everybody lie.
Out of all the black women in the world, it's 2 of them that might be lying. 2 out of a billion. It's probably I mean, I don't know. I don't fucking know. Everybody, all I'm saying is everybody in media, you can't believe none of this shit. Believe the evidence, bruh. Believe all evidence. I need a shirt.
I can't wait to come back though.
I can't wait either. Because if I'm wrong, I'm gonna be like, free DDG, lock him up. His ass going to jail. His ass is about to go. You can't stream from the jailhouse. So if he's wrong,
I don't know, man. They be getting reality shows in jail now, so he might be on.
Jail is very different now.
Very different.
what's the dude name? Blueface. He be streaming and shit from jail. But let's move on, man. Someone sent me this story, and Cliff, I want you to jump into this, man. But Trump got an investigation going on.
Yeah, so he's always up to something. And apparently President Donald Trump is saying he's going to call for an investigation into Kamala Harris's campaign for paying for celebrity endorsements, right? So people like Thee Stallion Beyonce, Oprah, Taylor Swift, right, have made appearances saying, hey, we're in support of Kamala Harris. And he's saying, look, you can't pay for that. That's against the law, so we're going to look into it. And what I don't understand is, bro, you won already. Leave it alone, right? You already got the victory. Why are you going back? And that's like you win an NBA championship and you go back and complain about a foul call
foul.
from game two. Leave it alone. You already got the victory. And also, don't we have more important things to be worried about right now?
I mean, he's alleging that Beyonce was paid $11 million. You know, she didn't even perform. She just came up there and spoke for like 2 minutes. So $11 million. If that's how much it costs to do a presidential endorsement, then I'm in the wrong business.
Right.
Man.
First of all, I do get a little
politics.
piece of that $11 million.
We definitely need to get into politics. But when you heard that, what is your thoughts on Trump coming after Kamala, even after he won?
I think I told you this, James. It is straight out of Candace Owens' playbook. This was the first person that I heard accuse Beyonce of being paid was Candace Owens. And Miss Tina Knowles had already came out and said Beyonce paid for her own transportation, her own glam.
I mean, it was in Houston, so she's from Houston. So
like her
I know she
own
got property there.
everything to be there and speak for the 2 minutes that she was there. I think it's outrageous for him to go after these different celebrities. I think it's a distraction because maybe there's nothing else in the commentary. We don't care about what all your executive orders, like, it's getting old, so he just needs to come up with new things. He's very gimmicky.
I mean, he definitely know how to
president.
manipulate the media. That's exactly how he became the president. And unfortunately, in the way American democracy is set up, being a marketer and somebody who can get on the news is actually more valuable than actually having real policies and this and that. So unfortunately, this is very on brand.
Yeah.
Like, it's very on brand for President Trump. So $11 million. I mean, they said Bono, Bruce Springsteen, all of these dudes who were actually performing at her campaign
are being called out. But I think it's a distraction because he doesn't want the public to really have to sit with the fact that prices are going up because of his tariffs, and so he's just going to turn it on something else. Because right now, as soon as people are saying, hey, Walmart is going up,
he just went off on Walmart too.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazon
Amazon is going up, Walmart, and he's like, oh, they should just eat the cost. Every economist told him they were not going to eat the cost. Every single one. So throw in Beyonce, throw in Meg Thee Stallion, to say, oh, look at all this illegal money that they were making. Like, come on.
And then the thing is, let's say he uncovers there is some truth to this. What does that change for anybody?
Well, side note, let me ask you this. Do you think Kamala Harris should run for president again? Do you think she got a shot?
I think she has a shot, absolutely.
I think she has no shot at all.
You say that?
Because it's the fundraisers. I mean, that's who really buy the president. I mean, it's the fundraisers, and I think she's going to have an issue with that.
I don't think she should. I think she'll have a shot. I don't think she should because it's kind of like, remember there was a year where we were watching the same NBA finals for 3 years?
Yeah, LeBron and Steph Curry. Yeah,
and then after like the third or fourth year, it's like, I just want somebody else. I just want I don't have anything against LeBron. I don't have anything against Steph Curry. I just want a different game.
Switch it up.
That's why I think that we're ready for a different game. We don't want to see Biden, Kamala. We don't want to see that administration go up anymore.
And then the whole MAGA Trump thing is over because he can't run again. But she says she's going to run for governor. Now, I think she should run for governor of California. She has a shot.
Well, what I think is going to happen is she's going to run for governor and the governor's going to run for president.
Yeah, Gavin Newsom.
What? What's wrong with Gavin?
He has a
you don't
shot.
want Gavin?
I don't think he has a shot.
Why?
I think he's too on the left. Like, he's too left leaning.
What?
I think he's too far gone. Like, I think he's too far gone.
You know what? When I just think about the state of California, I think about a place that does things that other places don't do. Right? So I could understand where he's coming from with that perspective of just a little bit too liberal, a little bit too loose, but
I think America wants somebody who, not an independent, because you're not going to win if you're an independent, right? You have to be black or white, right? Republican, Democrat, right?
One.
You got to pick one, but I think, watch out for Mark Cuban. Watch out for
Interesting.
yes, Mark Cuban. He's their Trump. He's been
But he's been trying for a while, so I
I
think
know, but he said his kids didn't allow him to do it, and his wife didn't allow him to do it because he was because they were in high school and shit. But now they're older and in college. He sold the maths.
Yeah.
He's not on Shark Tank no more.
oh
He's been
god,
speaking out about he was
he
Kamala
has been
Harris.
speaking out.
He was Kamala Harris' biggest endorser and like vocal critic.
He said he got nothing but time and money.
He ain't
now,
got nothing but time and money. He getting rid of all of his
Okay.
conflicts of interest. I mean, that's watch out for that for
Okay.
sure.
I'm
I
not
want
mad
a
at that.
politician as the president, though. I don't want another business owner. I'm sorry. I don't want another.
You know,
I don't want another mega
Yeah.
billion
Interesting.
business owner.
That's an interesting perspective because I think politics is all about business decisions.
Yeah.
So if somebody's been effective at making great business decisions and growing and scaling and sustaining their businesses, I think that could translate into making good decisions for a country. Although I know there's a lot more emotional decision making that goes into how people vote and things of that nature, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best decision just because you feel that way.
I think maybe Trump was the wrong blueprint for it then. You know what I'm
It's a
saying?
terrible
Because
example.
I was about to say because the way he's making decisions, you need diplomacy. Like the idea that you can just run a country like it's a corporation, you don't have to work with partners. Like you need to be able to work with foreign partners. You need to be able to like keep the peace.
Yeah.
I think in this term he is trying to do that with like the different visits to different countries. But that first term,
Yeah.
he was like F everybody.
I mean,
everything.
a lot of things he has going on is affecting a lot of our backyard, man. I mean, a lot of the government cuts, a lot of the DEI has been cut. I have so many friends who was in high jobs, making real good money the last few years, six figures, and a lot of them are laid off and unemployed because of the DEI, Doge, and government cuts. So federal jobs held by black women have fallen by 33% due to DEI and government cuts. And this happened over the last year, so it's not all this administration's fault. It's a lot that trickled over from the government cuts that were coming from the Biden administration. But when people hear these government cuts, they just think, oh, 17,000 workers or 2,000, 3,000 workers. No, they're also cutting DEI contracts. So let's say we had a consulting firm and we were doing DEI for the government or any type of state or any type of institution. All of that money is being cut. All of that money is being gone. A lot of those leadership roles were held by women, and black women were a larger benefactor of that. I would say they were number two, obviously, to white women. White women benefited the most from the DEI stuff anyway. But black women was getting to the bag, man. Like it was a lot. I knew a lot of women who I still have friends right now who are in panic mode because they're still in like DEI positions at like colleges, and
Yeah.
they don't know if they're going to get cut because Trump is attacking a lot of higher up institutions and saying like change the DEI or you got to go.
Yeah, I remember when we were in college, one of our friends mentioned this about the DE&I officer at our university.
Yeah.
They said who was a black woman, right? They said if she was so good at her job, she would work herself out of a job. Because if the student population and the administration was so diverse, there wouldn't be a need for a diversity officer. And I think that's a very interesting perspective. Obviously, what this
I
is
think
doing
it's
is
crazy,
the
though,
opposite
'cause
of it, though.
We live in America though, so it's going to always
It's
be
always
going
going to be uneven scale because it's just not as many of us as it is the other, majority race. But that's such an interesting thing to me to think that we're going to eliminate this role that is designed to increase what differences look like amongst us. But it also comes down to you would think you would say if you're talented and skilled enough at your position, you should be able to get it anyway. But we know that that's not true.
Of course.
Because people are still going to say no just because of how you look, even if you are way better than the person who would normally get that seat. It's such a sticky topic for me. It's so sticky.
Now, I don't know anybody personally affected by the federal cuts, but the idea that this affected so many black women is why when that the executive order first to cut contracts. That's why it impacted me as far as because I knew I'm like even if it affects white women the most, it's still going to affect black women.
course.
Of course.
And black women don't have the same type of structure as white women.
And they ain't got
Oftentimes,
the income and the savings and the investments to fall back on
exactly
either.
that's what I'm saying. So it's more devastating to black women when we be needing our jobs. Like, at the end of the day, we need our jobs, and I do think that what Harvard is doing, stepping up and saying that like we will not be moved. We are not going to be. We're not
Bullied
going to.
into
Yeah, we're not going to be bullied into because then what precedent does that set? And we're Harvard. We're the leaders.
I mean, I think it's still performative on Harvard's end though, because even though they're like fighting, they're still cutting like a bunch of DEI
Yeah.
programs, and they still cutting a lot of emission programs that was helping minorities and things like that. So it's one of those things to where like, yeah, we're going to stand up to the president, and then on the back end, like we cutting a deal to save face, to not look bad, because a lot of these, the conservative Republican Party has the Supreme Court, they have Congress, they have the Senate, and I think the House or something like that, and the presidency. So they have all the power. Are they going to fight this out in court? It's going to take 3-4 years.
That's
I mean,
what I
he's
was
going to
gonna
be
say.
out of the office anyway.
I think it's a long
So,
game for Harvard.
Yeah, it's the long game to say, we're going to fight as much as we can and push back, because I believe, I don't know. I mean, if the Democrats don't get it together, the conservative they might still have a president. I think they're going to lose the House and the Senate in the midterms. I definitely think they're going to lose that, but I think they're going to get the presidency in 2028 if they, unless a Mark Cuban or somebody step up. I don't think Gavin Newsom has it to. I don't think he has it to beat the conservative wave. I just don't. I don't see that. But
Who's next in line after Trump?
JD Vance, he's only 40 years old.
So he definitely is going to run though.
I think so. Hell yeah. Why wouldn't you? You the VP and you 40. Where else he gonna go? He can't go nowhere.
And who's going to be his VP?
Trump?
That's what I was about to say. This sounds like a play for a third term. This sounds like that third term play, which is again why you talk about Beyonce and Bruce Springsteen when you're trying to be unconstitutional and run for a third term.
They need to put an age maximum on running for president.
Well, that's ageism now. I mean, you can't do that.
Okay, you gotta be. It says you gotta be over 35 to run. You can say that's ageism.
Yeah, that's true too.
They need to put a cap on it.
They do. It can't. No, because you're not relevant. You're not relevant.
I told you I was I don't know if I told you I was considering doing like the whole ancestry.com 23andMe
Really?
thing. Yeah, I was
You didn't
considering,
tell me that.
Yeah, I was considering doing that, but they have a black version of it called African Ancestry.
Yeah.
So I actually had conversations with her, and I think I'm still going to do that one.
Okay.
Because she say, I mean, I believe her. she say they destroy the DNA, like they don't keep it on file. But
I believe
23andMe does. So 23andMe was a company created by I forgot her name, man, but she was the wife of one of the guys that started Google. So she got an investment, raised all this money, and started this company called 23andMe. They take your DNA, run all of these tests for health reasons, and the whole nine, right? The company was thriving, and then boom, fell down. The stock was up to they got up to about $6 billion, and now it's all the way down, bankrupt. So it's worth probably like $200 million. They filed bankruptcy. So a pharmaceutical company called Regeneron, I don't know how to pronounce that. I went to public schools. I'm sorry. Regeneron announced that it will acquire 23andMe Holdings for $256 million, which means millions of Americans, your DNA is now on the auction list and on the chopping block. So this company, a pharmaceutical company now, has bought your DNA. And now they're about to start running and doing studies and making medicine and doing all that based off of your DNA. And
maybe I don't watch too many movies and shows, man. But I immediately think about Get Out. I immediately think about they clone Tyrone. I don't know if y'all heard of that show Supercell on Netflix.
I love that show.
Now, granted, these are all black people we're talking about, right? But that's all I can think about is somebody wanting our DNA or body parts to do whatever they want to do with, and it is not in our advancement. It's not to our advantage at all. And that could be a wild conspiracy. Someone like, hey, that's sci-fi, that's fiction television. Don't buy it.
I mean,
but I don't put it past them because we know that you can replace organs. They're doing these type of surgeries all day.
They are.
We know that you can
Tuskegee
mate
Phyllis.
animals.
Remember that the Tuskegee?
Yes,
that was
the
a
experiments,
conspiracy
yeah.
until they came out and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, we acknowledge that we
Yeah.
did this whole thing on black men." And we're like, "What the fuck, Lord? That was a conspiracy. That was true."
No, that was true.
Facts.
So
I think this is one of the conspiracies that is actually true.
I got a few of them, but
here's the thing.
I'm definitely
because
on this one.
remember, you know how like black people love to fearmonger, especially like grandma, like the matriarch. Oh, don't go over there. Don't do that.
Right.
When 23andMe came out, it kind of was like, don't do that. It was like, don't do that. They're going to keep your stuff. Don't do that. They're going to clone you. And now, right? And now that people, I guess, aren't getting, want to understand their like family history or their heritage as much.
Yeah.
They went, bankrupt, and now it's almost, and for black people who did it, it's weird because it's almost like you're up for auction block again.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like you are
And
for
they
sale
selling it
to
to
the
the police
highest.
too. They selling it to the police. All these companies, man. That's the thing about it.
Don't sell my DNA to the
If
police.
you store DNA, the feds coming to get it. Because if they need, let's say, they can probably
They
solve
need evidence.
They can probably close a bunch of like
Yeah.
rape cases or assault cases or murder cases.
Anything where there's
If they just have a
saliva,
collection
blood,
of-
hair. Yeah.
If they got 50 million Americans' DNA, they're gonna close a bunch of cases just off of DNA. Because like, think about it, cases from like the 70s and 80s are getting
like cold
closed.
cases.
These cold cases are getting closed because they got DNA technology now that can go back and swab this shirt. And now this man who's been out freely-nilly for the last 30 years, who was accused of, raping this girl or assaulting this person or doing this, now they're like, dude, you actually was guilty. And they locking people up. So don't think that these companies are not selling your shit to the feds. America is not so free like we want to believe. Like, this shit is...
No, it's a conspiracy theory. What do you think about like HIPAA laws, right? Because our DNA is
that should
shared.
be breaking something.
That's
right?
what I was about to say. Our DNA is shared with
No, you get- you-
hospitals
I'm
and
about to say, you probably
doctors
gave
all
away
the
your
time.
rights.
You gave away your rights. You waived
When
your
you-
rights
when
to
you
DNA
signed
when you gave it to the private company. Now you give your DNA to the hospital. That's different, protected by HIPAA, XYZ.
Supposedly.
But even then,
Supposedly.
I was just about to say,
Allegedly.
They'll subpoena
Bro.
the hospital and say we need all that.
even then,
Precisely.
I guarantee you, if you commit a murder and they got DNA on a murder case, and then you go into one of these hospitals up here, and something happens and they have to get your DNA. Your ass is going to jail. I'm telling you, all that shit is getting ran through some type of system, and you getting red flagged. I guarantee it is.
Of course it is.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
But I feel like you waive your HIPAA rights to that DNA.
I
when
mean,
you sell it
listen,
to
I'm
them.
sorry. They're
Okay.
cloning people.
You think
Like,
so?
I just thought about this. Like, I can now go through TSA
Uh-huh.
without even pulling my ID. I just look at the thing, scan my face, I open my phone. We got 1 million logins for everything. All these different services that we open on our phone, my bank account, my whatever. Your email can have a face ID on it. Now you got my DNA too. Why?
Well,
Come on.
I think you have a good point because there's a lady in the hospital who's brain dead who has to
Oh my
carry their
God.
child to term. And is that not still in her DNA? Like her own child, who I think at the very time that she was pronounced brain dead, she was somewhere within a window where, they could have just ended
Yeah.
her life and then ended everything like that. But they're keeping her alive. So in a sense, that's kind of like stealing her DNA too.
Listen.
Stealing her like bodily function and her autonomy.
They're about to take AI and put it inside the physical clones of these people. And we're going to have
Don't say that.
human robots running around.
Don't
What is it called? A cyborg? Like half
Yeah.
human, half robot?
And then you're gonna have to pay child support on it because it's your
I'm
DNA.
done.
But it looks like you.
Yeah,
It literally
yeah.
got it has your DNA.
Yeah, but it's not me. It doesn't have my
But it's
consciousness.
AI.
But maybe.
Maybe.
I was about to
Parts of
say,
you.
at what point can you tell the
Because
difference?
here's the thing. If you can keep a heart beating with
Mm-hmm.
a machine, you can keep a brain running with the machine. I can enhance your hearing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
your eyesight with the machine. I can combine
Sound like Black
your
Mirror.
human body parts with this AI and make you a superhuman.
Which also means now we're playing God because this is leading to like how do you die if your part
You
machine?
don't. You just charge me up. Just plug me in every night.
Some
Plug me up
juice.
on the wall.
Stop.
Right, you're gonna have a charger at the house. You can just
Yeah,
plug
just
in.
like-
and just
No,
plug
you're
out.
gonna be like an electric car.
Just like your Tesla. Just plug me up to 80%. Let me run.
Hey man, I don't know if like when I was younger, I didn't drink like that, but um, a lot of my little cousins, a lot of people that I know that are Gen Z, they don't really drink like that. And I was wondering, like, maybe they're just being more responsible. Maybe
Yeah,
they're just
right.
doing, making better decisions. But a new study shows that Gen Zs are drinking substantially less than their millennial counterparts. But it's not because they're being responsible. It's not because they're making better decisions. It's because they are broke. So the study says
It's because they're broke.
the study says they have less discretionary income because of things like they're working entry level jobs, the unemployment is higher, inflation is
Inflation,
higher, it costs
for
more
sure.
to do the basic things.
A fifth of liquor is expensive,
A
bro.
fifth of,
I was gonna say that too.
a fifth of liquor is very expensive, and they also doing things like vaping and all of these other alternatives, and social media.
Yeah.
Like we're the last generation to grow up without like social media.
Right.
All these other generations behind us,
They've only had
they've
it.
only had it, so they're addicted to their phones and things like that. So these are a lot of primary reasons why they are drinking less liquor and alcohol. But it's not like they're making better decisions and doing better. So
Right.
what do you say to that?
No, I think one of the biggest thing is they're just vaping. They're just turning to smoke.
Yeah.
And like I was saying earlier, it's so much easier to just hide that, right?
Yeah.
Because I've hang around people before, and then I look over and they just blowing steam out of their mouth or
Yeah,
vapor or
yeah.
whatever. And I'm
I
like,
mean,
what is
they
that?
got-
You got a
yeah.
little vape pen in your pocket that's this big.
Yeah.
You can take that anywhere, and that's a lot easier to just sneak and do than it is to like have liquor, because I can smell liquor on your breath. You're going to be probably more visibly intoxicated if you've taken 2 or 3 shots, whereas the vape, you might not even know that somebody been vaping all day. And again, it's so easy to hide and convenient to just take with you anywhere, just store it somewhere. And another thing, like you said, about people being addicted to their technology, I think at the end of the day, whether it's drinking or smoking, it's some sort of dopamine hit that we're searching for.
Yes.
I can get a dopamine hit for 2 hours straight scrolling on TikTok.
Yes.
I don't need
Stimulation
drink-
from weed
right,
or
but generations
or-
before, and also socially speaking, right?
Yeah.
Like these younger generations, for them, their social interaction is social media.
Right.
Yeah.
My parents' generation, they had to sit around a table, play spades, cuss each other out, and actually drink to get
right.
a social interaction. But nowadays, it's like I can just be on FaceTime at home or be on the internet, and I'm getting that same dopamine hit as hanging out with my friends drinking liquor, but I don't need to spend money on it because I can just get that fix from the technology right in front of me.
What do you think is the correlation though? Like the correlation between I'm broke, so I'm going to choose these other outlets instead of
Well, I think
guess
what
more healthier.
I think what he's getting at is very true, because it's like, okay, think about it from our perspective. When we were young and we had to get up and get out of the house, right? So if we wanted to get that same dopamine hit, that same dopamine fix or whatever, that same addiction or whatever, we had to scratch the itch or whatever we had to do. You get out the house, you might go, you had kids trying cigarettes, you had kids drinking, you had kids trying weed and stuff like that. Now, the addiction is catching you in the bed. Soon as you wake up, boom, like I be having to catch myself. I got 2 phones. I be having, like, you sleep next to your phone. Soon as you wake up, the first thing you do, you grab it, you getting that dopamine hit, boom, boom. You look up, it's 9:30. You ain't did nothing productive. The stock market is open. Tariffs then took half your money out your 401k.
But you know what Halle and DDG did last night.
But we on there looking at Halle Snapchat. She's lying. You know what I'm saying? We on here, we on here getting our fix, getting our hit or whatever, and you don't even have to get up and go. You don't even make it to the grocery store.
Yeah.
You're already fulfilled with the mental stimulation from being on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and then you feel like you got friends because you got all these people around the world. So now all y'all connected. Y'all doing this.
Yeah.
you going live with your friends.
You going live with your
group
friends.
FaceTime.
Yeah,
FaceTime.
Right, because
FaceTime.
again, in 1980, we had to get together in person and share a beer, split some Cavassier, whatever it was. But now I can just get on group FaceTime and have the same social interaction with my friends. They can be all around the country. We don't have to collectively get together in person and find something to keep us entertained, because we can just hop on the phone from all across the world.
Well, I feel like if that is the, like you said, dopamine fix, or if this is the way that people are connecting now, it doesn't seem like a bad idea. I think the idea that vices get involved might
Yes.
be like,
That's not going away.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
mediums are just changing.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So I definitely think that if you're going to go to a vice and connect, I mean, fine. But then it's one of those things where I remember when, like you said, like we were all playing space, you're drinking, you had people to kind of like,
Yeah.
like
Slow
check
down.
you. You don't have that anymore when you're in
Yeah.
your silos.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where it could kind of get a little out of hand. My thing is, if you're broke and what kind of alcohol you buying? You buying Georgie? You
I
buy
mean, no. What's the other one?
99 bananas?
E&J.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, with some
Man.
cheap liquor, bro. I mean, Amsterdam. That was hot when we was young.
Amsterdam
The
was
Amsterdam was
hot.
hot. 1800. That kind of fell off, but that was hot.
1800 is still clutch.
1800.
Girl,
Oh my
judging you off
God.
that.
18, and you can still get it done with 18.
I ain't had no 1800 since I was 18.
I've never had
That-
1800.
I
Actually,
ain't
Really? Well,
No.
you already said you out here raw dogging life. You just
What you mean?
you said that you don't really partake.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't really drink. I'm not a drinker. I'm not a. Yeah, I'm not, I don't. I ain't never smoked weed. So
Yeah.
I ain't never smoked cigarettes. I ain't never did no crazy type of drugs or nothing like that. I've been drunk before. I ain't never vaped or nothing like that. But I know my vice. My vice is social media. I be leaving one phone like, okay, I'm gonna
To
just
go
leave
to
this
another
phone,
phone.
and I'm gonna just break the habit, and then I'm on the other. I done downloaded all the apps
From
on
now,
the other phone. I'm like, bro, I just really need to. But the problem is like, you make so much money off of these apps. Like you can, like a lot of people careers are based off of these social media platforms. So you can always justify, well, I just need to make one more post, or I need to do this and tweak this thumbnail to make this YouTube video do this. And it's always an incentive to go do it because people on here are making real lives and real careers, and your job and your family, your income, all of that is determined off of your phone. So on one hand, you can justify being on your phone 10 hours a day. If anybody can, I can. But what about the
Yeah.
people who are not making no money,
Yeah.
who are lonely, who don't have friends, who are not connected, who
Yeah.
don't have a sustainable business? Those are the people I worry about. I'm not worried about myself because I'm actually making. This is my career. I've been doing this for 6 years. But the 19-year-old who I ain't going to college, and I'm gonna be
Right,
an
right, right.
entrepreneur, and you just sitting online just listening to me. I mean, you probably need to go to college, right? You need to get out and do something in the real world. But I think a lot of these kids they're suffering from loneliness. That's a whole nother conversation. And like you said, they don't have that person to come like put that damn drink down. Like
Yeah.
we don't
Let's
look
go.
at
Let's go
we
shoot
don't
hoops. Let's
we
go.
don't look at our phone as as dangerous as some
yeah,
1800.
Yeah, for sure.
If somebody has some weed and you hold on, put that shit down, man. We ain't smoking in here. But if somebody got their phone all day, it's like
That's
Right.
true.
like
That's
even
true.
people giving their fucking laptops or iPads to these kids
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
10 hours a day. Like that's dangerous.
And I think there is awareness of how dangerous it is. That's why there's laws against having your phone in your hand while you're driving.
Yeah.
Right? Distracted
Yeah.
driving is just as dangerous as drinking and driving or being under any influence.
That's true too.
Because you're so addicted that you can't even drive 10 miles down the street without picking up your phone at every stop line.
That's
stop
crazy,
sign.
and it's true though. I've been in cars with people, and I've been like, oh nah. Like,
Every stop sign.
you on your phone.
Every red light. Like, dang, you ain't got 10 minutes to just park
I'm about
your
to
car?
call the cops.
Seriously.
All right, guys. Look, man, we appreciate you guys. Make sure you tap in. Let everybody know how they can find you, how they can tap in with you on your social medias.
Yeah, tap in with me on Instagram at Clift Roach. That's CLIFTROACH. Cliff Roach, the money coach.
All right, you already know it is your favorite scholar, Chaplain of the Culture. You can follow me at Chaplain of the Culture, IG, YouTube, TikTok, Chaplain of the Culture.
All right, guys, and you already know where y'all can find me, Black Millionaires _. That's the company. But if you rock with me, you can follow me at James Hill TV on all platforms.